This is BumbleBee 3. That's right, my third BumbleBee costume. Now you say, but Tom, haven't you already made 2 others? That's right, I made one, completely out of recycled materials, the first one I ever made. Lots of fun that was, bit smelly. Then, I went on to make BumbleBee 2, the one that transformed into a car. How could you top that? Well, I actually got hired occasionally by Chevy to do promotional work for them. And as I found myself reoccurringly week after week using the same 85-pound costume, it really wasn't designed for week after week use, or neither was my back. You okay?
Oh yeah, just a little wobbly.
Why don't we just do on the knee on the shoulder.
All right.
Now press down hard. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
That can take all of your weight.
It feels good to choke you a little bit.
Now, not really shown right here, but concealed inside. You can kind of see where this is. I'm going to bring the camera in just a second. This arm can support all 300 pounds. That's right, costume and Jay, up to 300 pounds on just one arm. Both arms will do that, and that means that either arm you can fall on and brace yourself against and never have, no laser in the eye.
Oh, that's right.
That's right, we've equipped BumbleBee 3 with lasers. These are fun, powerful green lasers. They're theatrical in use, and they're a lot of fun inside a club. But you gotta be careful with them. Of course, he has the standard light up eyes, and there's all kinds of other fun innovations that I've done to improve this costume. The single most important thing I did was I went from 85 pounds to 45 pounds. That means that the performer has nearly half the weight to carry, or a hell of a lot longer in the costume before you overheat and fall over. It's not a big set of periscope, Jay. They're really not.
Anyway, it's fun. It's awesome. It makes you feel like you're a lot stronger than you really are, that's for sure.
The reactions that you get with people, though, are unbelievable. I went with this costume because he's actually a lot more attractive than BumbleBee 2. I was able to recreate that V shape on the chest and add in a ton of lighting. I don't just have these lights here. If you wait, can you be okay? You gonna feel safe? Yeah. All right. I want to show the folks at home some of the reasons why this is a better costume. BumbleBee has these iconic doors / wings. But what happens when you come across a doorway that's not 5 feet across? Well, they're on hinges. They kick out of the way. That means they'll go all the way back for either side. Now, the importance of that happens when, Jay, I want you to move your elbow back, right here. Just keep on moving it back. That increases your mobility. And if you didn't have that, if it was locked in place, I want you to try the same thing. See how that changes everything? All of a sudden, your arm can only move forward, but you can't do this. Half your range of motion is gone. So not only can I get through doorways easier, but it's more freedom of movement, more agility, more balance. Now let's reposition Jay back against the wall. You see a bunch of dangly wires. These dangly wires are not, well, it's the latest innovation we got in BumbleBee technology. I made hard points throughout all of BumbleBee. If you look over here, see that? Corresponds perfectly to this piece. One's a positive, one's a negative. They lock in nice and firm and tight. When everything's all hooked together, which I'll show you in just a minute, there's 232 LEDs that run across his chest, down his arms, across the doors, across the biceps. He's covered in this stuff. But it's not just that you can turn them on, but that they're strong and durable. This piece here has 2 separate ones. Why is that? Oh no, can you start to see that? Jay doesn't know this, but inside that hand there's a set of controls that allow those lights to turn on and off. BumbleBee. Now rotate your arms like that so they can get a little view of those lighting there. They can't see it, but it actually goes along the doors in the back. It's just covered in the stuff. Now Jason's a bit uncomfortable, so we're going to try and take off some of this before he falls apart. Now you've seen these hands before. Little nifty remote control fingers, right? Nothing new there. You can also see the lighting a little bit closer. A little chrome accents. The piece I was talking about before, see my hand right here? That is a solid piece of aluminum that wraps all the way up. Inside here, it's a complete cocoon that totally locks around my forearm. Why do you want that? Because on the inside of this, I'm not touching anything. Yet it stays exactly locked onto my arm, like a glove, except made for your forearm. That means that you can have your hands focused on doing whatever you want them to do. Maybe they're doing this. Maybe they're controlling a laser, or the lighting, or the volume on the PA system. But whatever you're doing, they don't have to actually worry about holding onto your giant robot arm. You notice this cable is exactly the length it needs to be to meet this piece with no excess. These pieces are typically going to be tucked away, and they're designed to make it easier to get it on and off for the customer while he's actually wearing it. In case you're solo and you have to reach all the way to the ground, grab the torso, and pull all the pieces up one at a time. I'm going to slide this back on for Jason. A trained pilot can get into costume in approximately 8 minutes. These aren't the only innovations we made, though. So, in addition to making the arms easier to use, the wiring stronger and more easable, the entire costume being lightweight yet more attractive, yet even taller than it was before, I can now fit through doorways and stairs easier than I ever could before. If you could see that foot rotates 90 degrees. The advantage of that is that if you're climbing up a set of stairs, you want to get rid of BumbleBee's fake foot and get right down to that stilt foot. When you have all 300 pounds of pressure, you're lifting up on one leg, all your weight's on the other leg. You want that stilt foot to be firmly on that stair, either going forward and up a stair or backwards and down a stair. I wanted to show you the rear of the legs. Why do I want to show you the rear of the legs? Because if you step on a stair, see where my finger is? That is exactly where the real stilt is. So you're not even losing a 1/4 inch of distance, so you can snug your foot into the back of the stairwell. And the real stair is never going to come in higher than this, so when you're going downstairs, you're never at risk of not having your foot firmly on the stair. Getting into this costume is actually pretty easy as well. A couple of Velcro strips. I don't know if that's clearly visible or not. You can see a nice little sneaker action clamped in firmly here. Lighting can be turned off. You come on over here. And now that external lighting is also off. You can see here, this piece here triggers some of the green lasers. There's 2 of them right there. You also notice that the chest, of course, is artificially enhanced all the way across. Now, Jason, I want you to take your either arm and just push it straight forward. See how that kicks out of the way? Now, can you see if you can raise your arm above that chest piece? Yet again, still does not impede his movement. Now you drop it back down for normal hanging around. Well, folks, this BumbleBee stands, when I arc my back, a little over 9 feet tall, because while these doors stick out sideways, if you do this, they arc up to over 9 feet easily. He weighs about 45 pounds. The PA system is triple the strength of the PA system in my previous costume. The lighting lasts for 16 hours without changing the batteries. And quite frankly, I'm about 50% longer in this than I was in any other costume I had before, and about twice as agile as well. So for me, it's been a huge improvement. And I hope you think he looks attractive too, with any pilot. Thanks again for watching another episode of Extreme Costumes. But I can easily get my foot up on something. I could even get up much larger things.